Public Acts of 1976. It's Michigan Open Meetings Act as amended. We're meeting June 9th at 6:30. You can access the meeting by going to Comcast Cable Channel 20, AT&T Cable Channel 99, or online at orionontv.org. We are using GoToMeeting, and people are welcome to join us at the GoToMeeting site. To submit public comments prior to the meeting, please contact director@downtownlakeorion.org and indicate the agenda item in your subject line. During the meeting, you can call in, or you can email office.lodda@gmail.com, and we will read your public comments during the public comment sections. If you participate in the meeting, the GoToMeeting, you can indicate by raising your hand that you would like to make a public comment.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Lake Orion Downtown Development Authority Board of Directors, Tuesday, June 9th, 2020. It is 6:31 p.m. Could we have a roll call and determination of quorum, please, Susan?
Sure. Chairperson Burgess.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Reard. Treasurer Shao.
Here.
Secretary Caruso.
Here.
Member Barnett. Member Cole. Member Horvath.
Here.
Member Squarshaw.
Here.
Member Van Portfleet. Member Van Portfleet is here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to approval of minutes. Each one is separate. The first one is the DDA Board regular meeting minutes for May 12th, 2020.
Motion to support, Horvath.
Seconded, Shell.
Susan, are we going to take a roll call on this?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Squarshaw.
Yes.
Van Portfleet.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Caruso.
Yes.
Cole. Shell. Sorry.
Yes.
Horvath.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. The DDA Board special meeting minutes for May 21st, 2020.
Motion to approve, Shell.
Support.
Who was the support, please?
Monica Squarshaw.
Thank you, Monica.
Roll call, please.
Van Portfleet.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Caruso.
Yes.
Horvath.
Yes.
Shell.
Yes.
Squarshaw.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. On to presentation, the Economic Vitality Committee, business recognition, page 24 of your packet.
Matt, did you want to do the presentation, Matt?
Yeah, I can read them. Let me get them pulled up here.
All right, thank you. While he's getting prepared, I just want you to know that this is brand new this year for 2020. They put out the committee sent out a survey to all the businesses and have been collecting the anniversaries for each business, and they will be recognized monthly.
All right. So is Lloyd here?
I don't, honestly, I don't think anybody ends up being here, but we're still recognizing them, so it's all right.
Well, first is Ed's Broadway Gifts and Costume. We want to honor them for being a devoted business in downtown Lake Orion for 23 years. And Cookies and Cream is being honored for being their first anniversary in downtown Lake Orion.
Yay!
And Tattoo Nouveau for their 8th anniversary in downtown Lake Orion.
So we will have printed and framed certificates that we will bring to those businesses.
Excellent.
I think it would be great if we had some type of a window. Congratulations, seal that was placed in their window until the next ones are named or for the month. Doesn't need to be big, but if it was to be just an 18-inch circle, might be pretty cool, or 16-inch circle, something like that. But I think I'd like to get it out to the public more.
I love that idea.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
It'd just be a static thing.
Did you have anything else you wanted to share for the business recognition?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Now we have a call to the public. Don't see anything? Okay. Review and approval of agenda, please.
Move to approve.
Support Shell.
Susan, can we have a roll call? Do we need to have a roll call?
We have to have a roll call on everything according to the executive order.
Okay, so we need a roll call, please.
After virtual meetings. Burgess,
Yes.
Russo,
Yes.
Horvath.
Yeah.
Shell, Squarsha,
Yes.
and Portfleet.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Moving on
Susan?
to,
Oh, sorry. Susan, I didn't know if Susan knew I was here.
Oh, who is that?
Anthony.
Anthony, thank you.
Looks like Chris was the rock as well.
Thank you.
No, it was late. I was traffic. I couldn't get across 24. It was a nightmare.
What is? Look at the time. Okay, very good. Thank
okay,
you.
we're moving on to consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are approved by one vote. That is the financial report, director's report, committee minutes and work plan and event updates and marketing report.
Move to approve.
Support.
Support Shell.
Roll call, please.
Russo,
Yes.
Horvath,
Yes.
Reard,
Yes.
Barsha,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
and Portfleet.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes,
Motion carries 7-0.
thank you. Moving on.
Barnett, yes. Barnett, yes.
Okay, thank you. Barnett is present. Okay,
And I vote yes. Thank you.
thank you.
Moving on to financial matters. Bill approval, and it's page 61 in your packet.
Move to approve.
Please say your last name.
Oh, that Portfleet.
There you go. Thank you.
Roll call, please, or is there any discussion?
Need a motion. Oh, you already did. Sorry.
We already did that.
Shell,
Yes.
Reard,
Yes.
Horvath,
Yes.
Russo,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes,
Barnett,
Yes.
Barsha,
Yes.
and Portfleet.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. On to number 2, budget for 2021 review. It's page 65 of the board packet.
All right. We reassessed the priorities on May 21st to better reflect the needs of our downtown and the merchants in the downtown. The new 2020 DDA priorities are safe distancing events, placemaking for safe distancing, and pedestrian safety and lighting. Following the reassessment, the committees met to update their work plans and to reflect the new priorities, and we identified projects to do and estimated costs. On June 2nd, a budget workshop was held to review the executive director's suggested changes. At the workshop, attendees passed a motion to recommend the revised budget for approval by the DDA board. The biggest change to the budget from the last time was one, to reflect the changes in priority, but then second, the property acquisition fund, rather than paying back that fund in one shot this year, I've suggested we spread that out across 3 years, just to make sure that we're still paying them off, but we have a little bit more funds in order to do the events and to purchase some of the things that will be in support of our budget, of our businesses. And I can just briefly go through here. On the screen here, where it says transfer to capital improvement fund. Originally, we were going to finish paying that fund back. And the reason we borrowed from this fund, just as a reminder, was we were paying the township in full for the Art Center parking lot, which is when the fire hall was being renovated, they completely put in drainage and a parking lot for us. So we owe our capital improvement fund, the property acquisition fund, we owe that $34,250 right now. I'm suggesting that at the next fiscal year we pay $14,215, and then the following 2 years after that, each $10,000, which we can of course review at budget time next year in January. The rest of the changes are going to reflect the priorities, and that's why the changes have been made. Our priorities, we have the events. So all of the priority projects we're considering will cost approximately, what we're estimating, approximately $58,760. The events, we're proposing to spend $13,050 for the summer programming called Lake Orion Live. And then for placemaking, we have 3 different things that we are looking at for a total cost of $38,200. And the last is the pedestrian safety and lighting. And this actually is a priority that was originally on the January priority list, and it remains. And we're looking at around $8,150 set aside for pedestrian safety and lighting. And below these photographs here are just briefly some things that we were looking at in order to get those costs. Are there any questions about the budget?
Motion to approve the proposed 2020-2021 budget for recommendation to Village Council. Horvath.
Support, Anthony.
I'm sorry, who supported?
Anthony?
Thank you.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Shell,
Yes.
Barsha,
Yes.
and Forsley,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Caruso,
Yes.
Reard,
Yes.
Horvath.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. On to Lake Orion Live Summer Events.
All right. What we, and Johnny, do you want to go over this at all, or would you rather I did?
That's fine. Kind of have the floor, so you can take it away.
Okay, all right. What we are looking at are 3 different things, and we are doing our best to, the feedback we received is that we need some activity in downtown to make sure that we're bringing people in. So we're looking at a First Friday concert. This is in partnership with 20 Front Street, and they will bring in a premier artist. Some of their bigger names, and rather than, everybody, all of the musicians that we are able to contract with through 20 Front Street are very, very good. Our weekly concerts in Children's Park, those are traditionally, on Wednesdays, those are traditionally a local artist who's very talented. And the difference between the weekly concerts on Wednesdays in Children's Park and the First Friday concerts also in Children's Park will be that these artists are ones that have been featured in The Voice or in, Somebody's Got Talent, just they're a little bit more well-known or have been recognized with awards somehow. And then, and we're looking at July 3rd, August 7th, and September 4th. Weekly concerts, we had them scheduled for July 8th through September 2nd, and we decided to keep it that way. And then for Thursdays, and originally, because of the construction project, we were working with the businesses to stay open later, and we were going to be really marketing very heavily what the specials were that they were doing every Thursday night. So the reason we added the Thursday was if they decide to stay open late as they had planned, we can add a weekly DJ and present theme nights like, disco night or 80s or Motown. And the plan is to use Street Sounds outdoor speakers. And we could hire a DJ, but we are talking to Street Sounds. The wireless speakers we should be able to program all of that. And we are looking at inviting flower fair vendors and or farmers market vendors to set up. On Friday, the large gathering was up to 500. So I personally am not concerned about the number of people we bring into town. If we're allowed to have 500 now, come July, I expect that we won't have an issue. But keep in mind, we have the parks, we have the streets, we have all of those businesses. If we need to keep everybody separated so that we are not over the number that we need to be over, then we'll just do that. We'll just make sure that the vendors are spread out, or we've got counters. We'll make sure that we're counting as people come into certain areas. And I believe we're going to be able to manage whatever situation we're in as far as the social distancing and safe distancing and gathering numbers. For Lake Orion Live, just for the whole summer concert series, we're looking at just over $13,000. The gazebo concert series, operationally will be around $5,500. For First Fridays, we're looking at $5,300, and for the Lake Orion Live theme nights, $2,250. Are there any questions?
Yes, please. I first off want to applaud everybody that's worked hard on this. I think it's great. I think it's a great that we're doing this in our community. The only I'm in full support. The only question I have is about the Lake Orion theme nights. I didn't kind of get a little bit of a description of that. Could you help me there?
That one goes hand in hand with the design committee's projects for placemaking. And we are hoping to have, we're going to get, we just don't know when, we're going to get outdoor speakers, or at least that's the plan. And we'll have music throughout town. And the original thought was an open mic night. But in talking to professionals, those are a little bit hard to sustain on a weekly basis, especially if you don't have a big prize that you're offering. And we want to focus on our businesses, not on the event. So the music, rather than having some kind of live element on Thursday nights, it was to have music in town, but have it be a theme. And if we do not have our wireless speakers, which we can program, then in order to do the theme night, we'll not have to, but we'll hire a DJ to provide the music.
What's the monies for though? If we use the speakers, is it being hosted by somebody?
No, that is if we have to hire a DJ, and
Okay.
we won't need to use it if we have this speakers.
Great, great stuff.
And
Thank you.
Donnie, do you have anything to add to that? No? Okay.
Sign up to be a volunteer. No.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we need help. Yeah, that's true. Events like this do take bodies. Absolutely.
How about singers?
Get a volunteer for your downtown.
I think you just generally touched on it, but the safe distancing is the big priority. So we have ideas on either mapping out spaces in the park and having the counters limit them, or if there's a bigger spread, we have talked about moving some of the events over to Greens Park, which has a larger capacity for people. So we should be able to accommodate whatever comes in the future. So.
Awesome.
I think if we had speakers, people would spread out through the town pretty evenly and still be enjoying the events. So the speakers would be a great addition to our downtown.
Any other questions or comments?
You need a motion?
Yes, we do.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Lake Orion live event schedule and work plan as presented, not to exceed $13,500.
Support, Anthony.
Motion by Van Porter.
Question. Ken, are you saying 13,500 or 13,050?
Motion by Van Porter for 13,050, correction and amendment.
Thank you. And we have a support on the amendment and correction?
Yes, support, Anthony. And with correction.
You guys are keeping me on my toes tonight.
That's very good.
Roll call, please. Roll call.
Horvath,
Yes.
Russo,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Barnett,
Yes.
Barsha,
Yes.
Dell,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
and Porkley.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you, Susan. We are on to placemaking projects, page 76 of your packet.
All right. Priority number 2, placemaking that allows for safe distancing. First project we identified was the outdoor speakers. As Dr. Crusoe mentioned, having the music spread out through town will allow people to enjoy themselves, but they will not have to be crowded into, say, Children's Park in order to hear the music. They'll be able to hear it everywhere. And I love this, especially because that means that they can dine and shop while enjoying the music. They do not have to stay in one place. And that does allow us to provide more opportunities for safe distancing. The second project we identified is placemaking furniture. What the design committee settled on were picnic tables, and we're looking at the cookies and cream style, which fold flat. They're relatively inexpensive, so we could buy a lot of them. And the purpose of the picnic tables will be to set them around in the parks, and also to be able to loan them out to businesses who want to take advantage of the outdoor space, use the public outdoor space in front of their buildings for business use. We've already had some inquiries. I guess good news travels quickly. So some of the businesses have already said, hey, we'd really like to borrow some tables. So that's good. We considered hand sanitizing stations. And in the end, the thought by the committee was that there are businesses who are handing out sanitizing little bottles, and they are selling handmade stuff. You know, there's some businesses around providing the sanitizer. So, you know, rather than us buying furniture and a lot of sanitizer and making agreements with businesses in order to to have them help us keep that sanitizer filled, we're going to let businesses take care of that part. And then the last one will be barricades. And the barricades are in partnership with the village council. They just passed a resolution to allow for the businesses to use the public space in front of their businesses. And we've been talking to the fire station to make sure that they are willing to accept the situations that we've set up. And barricades coming out into the on-street parking. They're willing to accept that. And they also provided us with an event footprint that they, would approve under any circumstance. But rather than having the downtown shut down and do kind of a block party like weekly, we felt that businesses would need to be able to have the extra seating and the extra use of the space every single day. So that's why we thought we would help all of our businesses by providing barricades. It also helps us keep the downtown, give the downtown a consistent look. The barricades are really one of the ideas that we looked into is a split rail fence. I guess my recommendation at this time is that we allocate, I'm asking that you allocate $5,000 towards the barricade project, and that we continue to look. We're still gathering some quotes. One of the quotes that I found is for purchasing the metal kind of bicycle rack looking ones. You hold on a moment, I can bring it up. We don't have all of the quotes though, not yet, not today. That's why I'm asking for an allocation. But this one here, I can make it bigger, is for 38.5 foot long interlocking steel barricades along with a push cart and free shipping. I honestly don't think it's going to be free shipping by the time we're done because we need the lift gate. But that's around $4,000. So I think that it will be realistic to allocate $5,000. Let's see, we have quotes for the picnic tables. We got quotes and they were all around $160. Alana Hart from Home Depot did check. She could get 20 of them for us for around $160 a piece. And so she's ready to order as soon as if the DDA board approves. Are there any questions?
Quick question. The only thing with that metal barricades is that's not a lot of footage at that price. The one thing that we talked about with the wood fencing is we're going to be able to get 1,200 feet of it, and this way we're only going to get, I don't know, what did that came out to be, 600 feet or something like that. So that would be my only issue with that.
I have another question too on the barricades. Is there a local vendor we could use? Is there like maybe Lake Orion Lumber or someone that we could use locally?
Chris, that is what Anthony looked into for the split rail idea. That was using Lake Orion Lumber. And it is something that we could take down and, pile it in a yard, and then we could bring it back out and quickly assemble it again. The feedback I was receiving is that there was some reservation about whether it was safe enough for children, because it doesn't, it doesn't start at the ground and come up, and there's, it has a little bit more space. And then there was a few other comments about the buckets that were being used. I think we could get through all of those things, but the other option would be the metal grates that we know are standard and that we know are an accepted way to barricade.
Okay, the question I have is like, I guess a higher level question. I mean, we recommended our budget for approval to the village council. I don't think we can spend the money until they approve our budget, right? This is out of this is out of next year's budget. Is that right?
They've already approved the budget. We've been continually amending the budget because of the circumstances, but our budget has been approved by village council.
Okay. Can I ask a couple more questions? Are there other, I didn't see it. Maybe it's in here, but did we get other quotes for the outdoor speaker system?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your question completely.
Did we get other quotes for the outdoor speaker system?
Oh, we looked into other options for the outdoor speaker system. The Street Sounds people are the only ones who do a wireless speaker system. And I checked with other downtowns. This is not a project that is unique to us. Everybody confirmed. I mean, I just figured it'd be faster to ask a downtown, who are the other, vendors. And there really aren't other vendors for a wireless outdoor speaker system. If you want to do radio, broadcast, kind of, different technologies, or wired, we absolutely could look into those. However, our businesses have requested that we move quickly. That was one of the comments we heard many times during the priorities meeting. So the design committee made the decision to pursue the wireless outdoor speakers.
I mean,
not that means that that's what the board has to do, but that was their recommendation.
That's fine. I just don't know what the DDA's purchasing policy is. I don't know what the villages is, but I know, like, for example, the township, if we spend more than 5,000, we have to have 3 bids. So if there's no other product like this, then I just don't know that we have enough information. I 100% support this. $30,000 is a lot of money. And I think for the integrity of this board, I'm concerned about just approving it with no backup information. Maybe we somehow can give some preliminary approval that we want to do this. We need to get more bids. I'm a little nervous about how we're moving fast on some of the things. I think we should move fast, but I don't know how we approve $30,000 without saying, I mean, I don't even see, unless I'm missing it. I don't see, are there bids in our packet someplace or just your notes?
No, I have not been able to, I'm having trouble getting the quote from them. I mean, I've got a verbal quote, but I was not able to get a printed quote. And I think they're sending it to the wrong email.
Right.
What we could do, Chris, in answer to that quandary, is we could put it on the mitten system, asking for the wireless speaker system. There are no other vendors that do this, but I mean, that we know of. But if we put it on the mitten system, then we know that we've given them a chance.
I just don't like the way this feels. I love the idea. I want to hear music downtown. I was down there this afternoon, but we're moving too fast. We got to get something in writing. We need to get bids. We need to make sure we're not violating I don't know. So maybe we don't have one, but I'm pretty confident we probably have a purchasing policy. I see Joe shaking his head. So we need to make sure we're following our purchasing policy. I'm not comfortable voting on this tonight personally because. And then the other question is, where are we planning on storing? I also don't know that we should be purchasing picnic tables. I mean, I don't, unless we have a bunch of space to store all this stuff. But, I can tell you the township, we're really moving fast on opening outdoor dining for restaurants and bars, but we're not purchasing tables because we don't have any place to store them. And it's up to the restaurants to do that. And frankly, a lot of them are covering tables because they can only be 50% capacity. A lot of them are using coverings to make sure that they're weatherproof, but then they have enough tables already. So I'm just nervous about buying all this stuff and where we're going to keep it for a long, long time. I mean, we're not just buying it because of COVID. We're, this picnic tables last a long time. So in the barricades, I like all this stuff. I don't know that we need to move fast, but there's no backup information or we're missing a lot of information here. So maybe it, Joe or Molly or someone, but I'd love to hear more of it before I could vote on any of this stuff.
If I could speak, there is room for storage both at the DPW and also in the DDA backyard. So there is room for storage. We're the DDA. We're not, our job is to take care of the downtown and to take care of our businesses. And it does make our purpose a little bit different than other areas who are also responsible for making some changes to help the businesses. That is why placemaking projects was listed as a priority. That is why these particular things were looked at, because we knew that they would help businesses. Regarding the furniture, you are right. There is lots of furniture inside the building. However, the comments that I heard was, that's very heavy. And if we can borrow your picnic tables and move them out, that is going to be a lot easier for my employees. I only have, one or two when they're setting up, or, that was the kind of feedback that I received. And like the barricades, if you are more comfortable allocating or we could have another meeting 2 weeks from now, we can do things, but I do not want to stop moving. I think that we need to keep going. And I believe that the design committee has thought thoroughly about this and have.
Okay.
Anybody else have a comment or anything?
Joe, can you tell us what our purchasing policy is, just so we're
Sure. Anything over $1,000, you need to get 3 quotes.
But Joe, I know that you have said it before, there's exceptions when they're the only vendor.
Well, yes, right. But you can post it on Mitten. The outdoor speaker thing, it would probably be a good idea to do that so we can see if anybody is out there. The, uniform barricading, we're not ready to act on that. We're just amounting an allocation, approving an allocation. And on the picnic tables, you said that Home Depot gave us a quote, but we should have other quotes that could be
We
easily
do.
gotten.
Yeah,
Right?
we do, but they're local. I mean, everybody was about the same.
So you do have pricing, you just didn't include it in the packet.
So if we
We were
post it
moving
on,
pretty fast. In fact, the last meeting of the committees was Friday night, because we needed to make sure we were really good on the details. There was a lot of work going into this.
Ken, did you have a comment?
yes, Mr. Young. Since you have the experience to post it on Mitten, what's the duration and get bids back? 2 weeks?
Joe, you're muted.
Oh, well, we just posted, one that was out for 4 days.
We got
People are
13.
interested, they're checking every day, they're gonna get a bid out.
Then we should post it. We should have posted it before this conversation.
Is it within our powers to delegate a special committee that can authorize these expenditures? Assuming they meet the special powers, just to keep it moving?
Joe, are you saying yes?
I'm saying you can, yes. You can authorize the director and or the committee to get the bids and award to the lowest bidder or the lowest qualified bid.
You're saying those picnic tables from Home Depot?
I'm
I
saying,
can't, I wanna buy some for my back patio. I can't see that. The ones I see are like $2,000. 160 at Home Depot, really?
That's, yeah, and what you say is what some other businesses have said too, if you're purchasing them, then we'd like to purchase some too, but
Yeah,
that's not part of this meeting, but.
yeah.
Look, I just want to say one more time, I support all these things. I just don't, we don't have the information. I don't know how we vote on it. I'm just Googling right now, outdoor speaker system for downtowns. There's more than one vendor. And I don't know, I mean, literally 10 seconds, but to not even have a quote, I'm just really nervous. I just don't think it doesn't make sense. I think we're going to have to do a different meeting. That's just, I'm one vote, but I don't feel comfortable. I mean, $30,000. We're not spending 300. We're proposing to allocate 30,000, and maybe that's the price. I don't know, but I just don't know how a board could approve a $30,000 expenditure without one quote. We have 0 quotes. So I'm just saying, and maybe it's 35,000 and we still want to do it, but I think we need to slow down a little bit here. I don't want to slow down progress, but I mean, I've been on boards for 8 years. I don't know one board that would realistically be able to do what we're doing right now without more information. It's just not prudent. That's not what we're,
And Chris,
I'm not mad about it. I know, Molly, you're doing your best to try to keep the businesses happy, but I think we need to push these vendors to give us quotes quick. I don't know why, I just don't get it. I guess, can you explain how you came up with 30,000? Did they send you something, obviously, or?
yeah, absolutely. They gave us, they started out talking with 20 Front Street and with their sound expert, and 20 Front Street texted me the numbers. We then had a virtual meeting, and the street sounds vendor was there, and he went over the numbers again, and he talked about the layout and what we really would need. But the written, I don't know why we're having so much trouble getting that, and I would have waited, except that I'm trying to listen to what the businesses are saying. And I agree, this is not what we normally do. And I like Matt's suggestion, and I'm okay with Chris's suggestion, but I do want us to keep moving because that's what our businesses need. And this action item came the way it did because we're trying to move quickly.
Hey, no, Kristen. Molly, when we went to Seattle last year, I thought that we got some business cards to a few speaker companies, or it was maybe in Frankenmuth at the MDA conference. But I know that you usually keep all of those things, and of course I don't have them handy. But could we call a couple of those places that we talked to and looked at when we were there? Just to get quotes, just to, to also compare?
Well, I think putting it on the mitten system is going to be the most legitimate way to get written quotes and to be sure that we're really getting apples to apples. But to my knowledge, the wireless speaker system is Street Sounds, and there isn't another. That technology was created by the owner CEO of Street Sounds, and there isn't. There are you could do wired systems, and you can do some kind of radio something or other. There are other technologies.
I know we had talked about in one of the meetings that we could have like a sample speakers to be put up into the downtown area, something like it. Has that been looked into yet? Are we looking to maybe getting that option available?
Yeah, that's been discussed. They're trying to get that arranged. Yes.
I mean, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris.
I think we should check with local vendors. We know a lot of local tech people in our chamber, maybe even in the DDA. I just need more information. And I'm a broken record now. I apologize, but
I think everyone agrees we want to do this, and everyone agrees we need a little more support to get it done. So I'm going to again recommend that we maybe appoint a subcommittee of us, make it easier to convene.
Would you like to?
I guess I'll make a motion that we appoint a committee with authority to approve amounts subject to our spending policy to approve expenditures for outdoor speakers, placemaking furniture, and barricades.
Molly, Ken had his hand up. I don't know if he had a comment or.
I was considering making a motion, Mr. Shell just did, but mine would have been a little bit different as well.
Does Matt have support for his?
I support. Or as well before we finalize.
With Mr. Shell's motion, I'd like to recommend that he might consider a budget of $30,000. And you, instead of just saying a special committee, let's name it, such as the chair, the vice chair, and the director.
I'd rather have a special meeting because we can do it virtually through the rest of the month. And I mean, I know it's more time, but it doesn't cost us money to do a special meeting because all of us are volunteers. Then just have a few people. Not that I don't trust the people, but like we're talking about a big expense and we're literally bypassing our purchasing policy. Like Joe just stated, anything over 1,000. So like I'm on the DDA board. I want to be able to understand and make sure that the due diligence, and I really want to focus on if we can try to find local vendors. I'd love to do that. Maybe we can't in any of these cases, but like I'm willing to either be on the committee. I don't really want to be on the committee, but I think it's worth bringing all this stuff back to the board. And we could do a special meeting. We can notice it with 18 hours notice. We can all tune in virtually from our home, our offices. I just think it's, I think we need to do a little more homework. I'm willing to volunteer to help. I'm willing to try to check with some local vendors on some of this stuff. I'm not saying I want to take the lead at all, but I don't think we should just abdicate the responsibility of the entire board to a few people. I mean, again, we're talking about spending $40,000 right now, and it's not chump change, in my opinion. So that's my recommendation. I won't be voting in support of making this committee, then giving them the purchasing authority. I don't even know if we can do that. And I don't have our bylaws in front of us, but that's my 2 cents.
Ken?
I would just like to say there's no intentions of violating the purchasing. That group would still get the quotes required to make the best decision.
Matt?
I'm fully supportive of another special meeting if everyone's committed to doing it. I was just trying to move things along. So if everyone wants to do that, let's do it.
Anthony?
Yeah, I think I you know, listening to what Chris says, I agree, and what Matt says, I agree. I think it's better to maybe look at some alternatives and just get some prices, and then have a special meeting and get it approved if we want to move it a little bit faster.
I also agree. Are you willing to have more than one special meeting so that as we get the quotes and we're ready to, we are able to provide the information needed, we can do each project individually? Is that okay? We do kind of quick meetings for a single purpose, just to keep things moving.
And then Matt.
Anthony, I sat in on the presentation by this company that wants to provide the speakers. And it's great that we're going to look at quotes, but you were very instrumental technology-wise in talking with them about their bandwidth and their direct signal. And there's a lot that goes into this. It's not just simply saying, can you provide outdoor speakers? And the quality of the speakers are of high concern. And they have a reputation. They answered every question flawlessly. And they said they're the only ones that can provide. I don't agree. There might be somebody else out there that can, but they provide the quality of product to the community. And you can turn down like volume in different sectors. You can increase it in different areas. There was a whole very in-depth consideration to what they were going to offer to the community. So to go out for that bid, that spec needs to be prepared. Otherwise, you're not going to have oranges and oranges. You're going to have apples and oranges and lemons, and you're going to try to guess it.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ken, and they may be the perfect solution. I just understand where Chris is coming from and trying to make sure that we follow protocol. I don't want to go off of protocol. I want to make sure we do that. Their system that they spec, I've even looking at Main Street America, and that's the recommended system. That's the recommended company. Whether or not they say that, they actually talk about them specifically. And it may be because of their system, but I do think that we should at least follow protocol and try to make sure that we appease the public and do what we're supposed to be doing with our funding. So that's why I support Chris in this, and I support Matt. He's comment in this. I think it's the right thing to do, even if it extends the time a little bit.
Matt, you had your hand up previously.
I was just going to say that I'm willing to meet as often as we need to get this done as quickly as possible.
And to follow
multiple meetings.
To follow Matt up on that, I'm happy to be involved in the committee. I'm happy to talk to these companies. I know this technology. I understand this technology. I mean, so I can communicate this language pretty easy with these people.
Chris?
I just want to restate, I am 100% in favor of this. I think it's awesome. I think it takes us to the next level. But guys, just read the memo. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but the memo says the design committee spent time doing this. The committee likes the street sounds technology and would prefer to get a quote and a trial set of speakers rather than looking into all the variations, especially because it's best that we get something in place quickly. So it's like the recommendation in the memo is we want to get a trial set of speakers and a quote. We don't even have a quote, and we're asking to approve a motion to approve the purchase of outdoor speakers not to exceed $30,000. Like, no, like that's, I probably will support this. I'm not saying I'm against it. It's just we're doing this so wrong. And honestly,
Okay, with all due respect, Chris, I think there's some solutions on the table. Let's focus on those and either approve them or not.
But I'm explaining my position, and we are absolutely violating our purchasing policy if we voted to approve this memo. So I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just like, that was the original discussion. So the fact that we don't have a quote in our packet, how can we prove something? And it's irritating that you're trying to interrupt me from making a point, that is fiscally responsible. So I support this. I want outdoor speakers tomorrow. We don't even have one damn quote. Well, how can we approve it? I'm in favor, and I'm willing, Matt and Ken and whoever else, I'm willing to meet 10 times if we need to. I'm willing to do some legwork. We have contacts. We just hired a consultant here. We can use our contacts. We should have absolutely posted this on Mitten 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. This should be on Mitten. So I'm willing to be part of the solution. I want this, but we just have to do it the right way. That's all I'm trying to say.
Susan, so if we are not going to make any motions on this, what do we need to say to make sure that we need to get 3 quotes? It needs to go on the Mitten system. We're gonna, I think everybody's almost willing to meet how many ever times we need to meet. So how do we properly handle this particular item?
I would postpone it. Postpone it until such time that you have the necessary requested additional information.
Okay, I would like to make a motion. Can I make a motion?
Sure.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to postpone this until we get all of the information and it's been gathered in the correct fashion. Does anyone want to support that? Matt?
Question.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know, should we make the motion more directive as to getting these quotes done? I mean, I know everybody knows what we want to do, but should the
You
motion?
can do that. You can list the information that you would want or how you want the information to come back. If it's very specific, then you'll get what you asked for.
Okay, so then actually our motion should include exactly what we need for those speakers to be, correct? If we're gonna put it out for bid on the Mitten system? Do we need to be that technical? I want to make sure I do this correctly.
I would suggest that we include not only the speakers in this motion, but the tables and the barricades as well.
I would list the items that you want the quotes to be obtained from. How they obtain the quotes, I would leave that open in case there's, they can put it on Mitten, but they might not get any on Mitten. They might have to go to other alternatives. So, I would just say that you would list what you want quotes on, you know, the placemaking items, the speakers, and you want wireless speakers, systems, and, let me think. Pursuant to our purchasing policy, that's all outlined in there, really. What you need to do within the
Can I
policy
take a stab at it?
or the bylaws.
So I'll make a motion to direct the staff to seek quotes consistent with the DDA spending policy for outdoor wireless speakers, placemaking furniture, and barricades as soon as possible within the policy, and then to request a special meeting. To reconsider.
I support that.
We need to add something. I just thought about something we're forgetting about. Also quote on the service for the where the sound's coming from, because that's a pay fee also. There's about 10 different ones you can get that music from. So are we paying a monthly fee? Are we paying a yearly fee? Are we gonna create a music list? That's a dollar and cent thing as well. So
I'll amend my motion to add to my list ancillary services necessary to support the items on the list.
Perfect.
support.
Still supporting?
I still support it too. Whoever you, yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion before we call for a roll call? Roll call, please.
Hold on, Kristen has her hand.
Kristen, did I?
Yep. I just wondered if we need to do a timeline in that motion, because I don't know. I know some things can go on the Mitten site for 30 days. Some can go on there, like somebody just said, for 4. I just don't want this to be a thing where we don't put an end date to it. And then 3 weeks from now, we're going, why didn't we get back to this? Just wondered if that should be included.
I mean, I think we need, my 2 cents is, I think we need to follow our purchasing policy. So as soon as we get 3 quotes, or we know that there are no other vendors that can provide the same service, and that's somehow, you know, these organizations can say those things. You know, as soon as we can meet our purchasing policy, then we should schedule a special meeting. I think we all want to do it as soon as possible. So I don't know that you necessarily need to put a timeline on it. I just think we need to make sure we, and honestly, if they don't get back to us, then, you know, obviously I don't think we can move forward. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? I don't want to miss anybody. Ken?
I don't think that bid request can just be simply an outdoor speaker system for our village. It needs to have specifications. Perhaps they're available through Main Street as them being listed as a vendor. Maybe they have some information there. Mr. Regard, Anthony, maybe you can help with that. Not sure, but again, I'd like it not to be an apple, an orange, and a lemon.
That's fair.
Be as consistent as possible.
I agree.
That's fair. I agree.
Okay, can I call for a roll call now? Everybody, roll call, please.
Caruso,
Yes.
Horvath,
Yeah.
Reard,
Yes. Yes.
Dell,
Yes.
Barsha,
Yes.
Van Portfleet,
Yes.
Barnett,
Yes.
and Burgess.
Yes.
Motion carries. I'm sorry, 8-0.
Thank you. All right, we're on to pedestrian safety and lighting.
All right, pedestrian safety and lighting, as I said before, this is one of the priorities that did remain from January. I'm in the wrong spot, excuse me. All right, so all I'm asking for is for an allocation that is specifically for pedestrian safety and lighting. We're putting it in the capital outlay parking area. And we're also included in that amount is completion of the Slater parking lot and pathway. And there is money allocated from this year for that project. And we're looking at, I just think there should be a little bit more in case we need it. And that's all we're doing with this one. This one hasn't been investigated a whole lot. Are there any questions?
So you're not proposing to purchase anything right now? You just want to make an amendment to the budget?
Just, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so this will come back in front of the DDA before we purchase with quotes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
You can review and file. It's okay too. That's fine.
But we're amending the budget we just proposed we adopt. Is that what we're doing? We're amending what we just did, or this is?
No, what we're doing, what I was trying to do is go in detail about what the things were that were changed in the budget regarding the priorities. So the budget, you guys approved the budget as a whole, so you can review and file this one. And Joe, please correct me if I'm incorrect.
Yeah, we already acted on the first 2 items under previously when we approved the 8,150. It's already been approved, the allocation. You're just saying you want another 16,869 for the Slater parking lot, which we don't have bids for yet. So you can just receive and file this report or approve. You know, that's what I would do, is just receive and file for now.
Okay.
Support.
So I guess I'll move it. Ken supported it. To receive and file.
I
All
thought
right.
Joe moved it.
Oh, can he?
No,
I'll support Ken's motion.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Portia,
Sorry, yes.
that's okay. Caruso,
Yes.
Horvath,
Yes.
Reard,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Barnett,
Yes.
and Portley.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to employee pay scale change.
These were the numbers in the budget, Madam Chair, these new numbers. Is that right?
For the
For the payroll?
cost of living,
Yeah, is that right? Molly, these are the new numbers? Are these
I
numbers?
think that I gave it different, I did, originally did not request 2% for each employee because, they had been hired at different times. So there will be an amendment to the budget, next month if this is something that we can approve, the pay scale can be approved.
There's sufficient money in the budget.
And this is, the village council approved the 2% pay scale. It was recommended that's what I do. So that's what I put in there.
Right, but the budget we just recommended approval. It does not include these wage numbers, or it
It
does?
doesn't, it does. There is sufficient money in the budget.
I'm good with it. I just want to make sure that I'm thoroughly confused by our whole budget process this year, so I support it. I will make the motion to approve it. I just wanted to make sure, and I can't easily see that what's in front of me. So Joe, what you're saying is the budget that we recommended the village approve about 30 minutes ago includes these numbers.
30
Right.
days ago, yes. Yes, there is sufficient money to cover these increases. That's what's budgeted, yes.
Okay, then I would move that we approve the 2% cost of living increase effective July 1, 2020 for the executive director, downtown events coordinator, administrative coordinator, and seasonal grounds coordinator.
Support that.
Ken Portley.
Caruso. Whatever.
any other discussion? I'll look for it so you know exactly where it's at, but we can have a roll call right now, please.
Reard,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Portia,
Yes.
and Portley,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Horvath,
Yes.
Caruso,
Yes.
Barnett.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. We are on to brand marketing contract.
All right, the marketing contract, expires on June 30th. We went out to bid, we received 13 bids. 4 of them were within our, budget. We interviewed those 4 candidates. It was a virtual meeting, and these questions were asked in addition to specific questions by the panelists. There are 2 candidates who the committee interviewing the candidates scored pretty well. I think that the panelists can probably recommend who they like the best, who they would recommend, and we can discuss it from there. None of these candidates will exceed, their contracts will not exceed $21,000. I am suggesting that we approve something pending a legal review of the contract. Are there any questions? And panelists, please provide input. Yes, Anthony.
I'd like to abstain in this vote, being that both two of the people that we're talking about, I have personal relationships with my company, so I think it's a conflict of interest.
Okay, I'd like to share. My first choice would be Brian. I believe that New Moon did an excellent job as far as design and giving us that warm and fuzzy feeling. But what I was impressed with Brian was he said there's two areas that he thought we should work towards, and one was Google Business. He said that that's our opportunity to expand. And then Facebook, the social media, is we need to keep engaging with the followers that we already have. So he talked about that Google Business, that search engine, there's the keywords and the phrases. He even had a strategy as to say we should spend $200 a month on Facebook and $300 a month on Google Business. He said we need to continue to build our database. We need to keep engaging. So the digital was the social media to grow the traffic. Email marketing was the analytics for the distribution lists, then the events, and then market the message, build the database. And he said that with every statement, we need to have some kind of image, because an image tells the story, and they're an image or a video. So I like the fact that he said what he thought we should do, and then he told us how we should do what he thought we should do, and the dollar amount attached to that.
Yeah, I also was on the call, and I agree with Debbie. I liked what Brian had to say. I also like that he liked our LOL and what we have out there now. He didn't want to change that. He just believed that we didn't have it. It wasn't out there enough, that we needed to make more people aware of it. And I think he's very capable of doing that. So he didn't want to change it. He just thinks that we need to have more people viewing it. So I also like Brian.
So is Brian this Bimini directive, I'm assuming? Okay.
Any other committee recommendations?
And if I wasn't clear, the Facebook was to engage with the client. Google is to drive in a new customer base. So I don't know if I specifically stated that, but that's what I walked away with.
Who else was on the call on the presentations besides and so what's your opinion?
My opinion?
Anybody that was on the call, I'm just looking for your opinion.
Like I say, I work with two of the people on there, so I prefer not to make a statement on that one way or the other. I will say though that no matter what we do, the Google Business is where customer acquisition comes from. So that's got to be our focus.
Mr. Young, what was your recommendation?
I would recommend Brian Verney also. By the way, he proposed $500 for Google Awards and $200 for Facebook in his proposal. We did ask Kim Rivera what her Google Words action is, but she subcontracts that out.
Right.
So that would be an additional cost beyond what her services are. And I do want to say that she's done a great job. Her company has, and we've gotten more value than we paid. She had put in a lot of extra time and gratis items and available on a moment's notice. So her service was excellent from what I understand. And certainly her product and what she's provided helped us become is certainly very key and valuable. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. But it is a new day and we need to go into the new area to get more customers downtown, because that's what the goal is. We need more people shopping and dining and enjoying entertainment downtown.
So,
Ken?
I like local. I like the fact that we've got a couple of vendors here that live, breathe, and eat in Lake Orion. So I like that. I think that's strong.
Sam?
so you're saying then, Joe, that $500 extra fee is included in his $18,000 initial? No, okay.
No, it's additional monies. We already are spending money on additional promotion and advertising. That's what he's saying where we should earmark it to.
I got you.
Sam, if you guys go to page 93 in your packet, you can look at his proposal right there. If anybody has any questions, it's all in the packet. So you can take a quick peek. Anthony?
Yeah, just other statement to make. Whoever we choose, I think both, if we choose one of the two local guys, or whoever you guys choose, both of them have qualities, and the other one could still be used for some other projects one way or the other, because I believe that both have some unique skill sets that we should put to work for the DDA.
I just want to add that both Johnny and Kristen were present and were part of the discussion.
Does the DDA have a recommendation of who they'd like to see?
Molly?
I think I guess I am happy with the consensus that I heard from the interview panel. And Kristen, who has a background in marketing, may have a few more details to add.
Do you have any comments?
I mean, I too agree with the direction we're going. I think Kim brings a very strong creative aspect to the table, and being able to do all the creative, with the graphics and all that. But I do think Brian would take us to where we need to go and implement everything that we've already done. She does do a lot of extra things for us. So I think when we set up our contracts with him, we make sure that we're not losing a whole lot from what we are getting now. I mean, I know it's not going to be the same by any means, but she does do a lot of stuff for us extra.
Ken?
I'm willing to make a motion if we're done. I'd like to make a motion to approve a marketing contract with the Bernie Directive not to exceed $18,000 for an annual contract beginning July 1st, 2020, ending June 30th, 2020, pending review by legal counsel.
Support, Shell.
I don't think we have any other discussion, do we? Roll call?
Horvath,
Yes.
Reard abstains, Shell,
Yes.
Portia,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Caruso,
Yes.
Barnett. Barnett
Sorry, I was muted. Yes.
and Van Poortvliet.
Yes.
Motion carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1 abstained.
Thank you, Susan. On to radio coverage promotional offer.
All right. Our neighbors down the street, Malash's, is hosting a virtual event called Toughen Up Your Tailgate in partnership with RIP radio station. They're requesting $125 gift cards to go into the key envelope. In exchange for the downtown dollars and or gift cards from restaurants, we will have 80 promotional announcements that will include our name during the advertising for the truck giveaway. Our logo and a link to our website will be on the tailgate website or page. And then there will be 2 email blasts that will include the DDA linked to us, and then thank you during the actual event. So we're looking at approximately, if all of it came from the DDA, it's approximately $2,500 of downtown dollars. We traditionally give away twice what we redeem. Not to say that that wouldn't be different this year, but we do have money left over in the budget for a gift certificate resumption this year. Plus, we upped our budget for next year because we were anticipating that we would be using and distributing more gift certificates. Are there any questions?
Anybody want to make a motion?
I want to add that Lloyd Co. was asking about radio mentions. And when we looked into just being mentioned on the radio, it was around $1,000 for less than what we're being offered here. Here, we're giving away downtown dollars that are going to bring more people into the downtown. This event is, because it's a truck event, it's, you know, it's not going to necessarily be just a local customer. I think it's a pretty good value to give away downtown dollars and increase the amount of shopping that happens in downtown.
Chris, I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, I think it's unique. I think it's good marketing. I know these events get a lot of run, free car giveaways on the radio. And I was pleased to see our Lake Orion advertisement on the billboard on I-75 near whatever the axe throwing place is, former Big Buck Brewery. So I think it's good. I think we need it. I think it's a unique approach, and I think it's worth a shot to see if it brings some recognition. So, or some more customers. So I would move to offer up to $125 downtown dollars, not to exceed $2,500 for the Toughen Up Your Tailgate promotion by Michelle Malash's Palace and WRAF in exchange for inclusion in the event's marketing plan as described in this document.
I'll second that.
Monica.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Burgess,
Yes.
Horvath,
Yes.
Weird,
Yes.
Dell,
Yes.
Barsha,
Yes.
and Porsley,
Yes.
Caruso,
Yes.
Arnett.
Yes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. On to new and old business. None? Reports and updates, Executive Director.
The Patronicity crowdfunding campaign is still going on. Please find that on the downtown page and share it. It's raising money for our businesses. It is a way that we can hand over dollars without going against any of our policies or any of the state laws. Thank you, everybody, for working to get all these projects through. the business, if we need that, we just need it. That is all.
Village Manager, Mr. Young?
Okay, yes, just a couple updates for you regarding the M24 project. As you see, it's moving along. We have a progress meeting tomorrow. Trying to get a phasing plan from them since we started, and then I'm hoping tomorrow we'll at least know what the sequence is of how things are going to go. I was hoping to have some timing on it so we can explain to people what to expect. But hopefully we'll have that tomorrow. I think that'll help people understand where we're at and where we're going to be, depending on the weather, of course. I did also want to mention, as was mentioned earlier, the village council did approve last night 3 resolutions to open up the downtown outdoors for bars and restaurants, and also for retail and office, and also for personal services. So, which starting Monday, everybody can go outside and get their hair done on the sidewalk if you wanted. But we do have an application process and forms they'll need to follow up on. We've had I believe 5 restaurants already applied to have outdoor seating, and I noticed Bitter Tom's put their railings up today for their out front dining, and I know Soda's going to be putting out some seating out front there as well, and Lion Social, and of course 313 will be, and Sagebrush, and CJ's and Sandbar also applied as well. So, and the other thing I want to mention, the retail businesses under our current city village code are allowed to display merchandise on the first 3 feet outside of their business on the sidewalk. That's an ongoing thing. So we can have sidewalk sales and merchandise sales out there all throughout the year. So we're hoping, look forward to that. The last thing I did want to mention, well, Greens Park is open and the restrooms are open, as are the fire hall restrooms are open from 8 to 8 then. And we do have park attendance this year at Greens Park to 5 o'clock during the week, and then till 8 o'clock Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's swimming, but you swim at your own risk. So we're excited about getting that happening. We're looking at some improvements there as well. And the last thing I wanted to add for help, we have a Public Works seasonal position open, 40 hours a week, $15 an hour. And I'm sure there's someone out there you might know is looking for a nice paying job working outside for that time. So if you have anybody interested, please send them our way. That's it. Thank you.
So, on to other business and board member comments. Ken?
Tagging on to that seasonal worker, we are still searching for a DPW director. I just wanted to mention that because that's a nice opportunity if you might know somebody out there. Last night, the village council approved the fireworks permit for LOFA for July 4th. And we look forward to that event. I want to say the march that happened here in our community was very safe. And with the teamwork of the LOPD and the township and the sheriff's department, it went very, very well. And I noticed yesterday and today especially, number of cars downtown already coming downtown. And I'm really excited for our community. I think it'll have a fast track to rebound. Thank you.
Sam?
Yeah, I agree also. I was mentioning before that when I left the office yesterday at 6 p.m. that I noticed the downtown was filled with people. And if there's any desire of pent-up demand, my office is really, I mean, I've noticed that people are wanting to get in the office. We opened massage up this week and they're booked for the entire 2 weeks out. So people are running to get out and do things. So business getting open will be a huge importance of them getting open. And people want to get out and do it and spend money because they've got the money. They made more money probably than ever on unemployment for the past umpteen months if they're collecting the money. So there's pent-up demand. People want to get out there. I think just getting business open and getting people downtown. I'm excited about having all these events we're planning on with the DDA to get people to come downtown to do more shopping. I think with our efforts, it's all going to pay off very, very well for all the businesses. I think the businesses deserve it. They've been, hit very hard these past 3-4 months with being closed down. So we just pray that with all these things we're doing, that our business will get back up and get back to running in good fashion again.
Thank you. Matt?
I support everything that has been said so far and agree with it. I was downtown last night and everything seemed to be happening already. Just thankful to the support that everyone's given, and I think I've made it clear in my comments today and in emails, but the more we can do with the space making, I think will be huge to drawing people into downtown.
Thank you. Kristen?
A couple questions. Molly, can you tell us where we're at with the patronicity? I believe if I read the information correctly that Main Street Oakland County is going to match up to $4,000. Have we met that yet?
Kristen, do you want to respond?
Yes, we can. Oh, go ahead, Kristen. Thank you.
We got a $1,000 donation this afternoon. So we are actually over $10,000 with Oakland County's match. So
Awesome.
That's great news. Thank you. And I wondered if there has been, I know when I did my calls, what was that, 2 weeks ago, last week, to the local businesses and restaurants, especially, that there was a lot of conversation with getting some permits to be able to walk around town with alcohol. Have we heard any updates on that, that I'm just, obviously can't keep up on?
Holly?
That is the social district law that is going through the legislative process in Lansing. It has gotten through the first committee and it's moving on to the next. It's moving along, but it's Lansing. So.
Okay, I'm very hopeful that that's going to pass. Our businesses obviously seemed very, very, very excited by the prospect of having that be something that we can do in downtown Lake Orion.
Hopefully before November.
Let's hope.
Monica?
That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Sure, Kenneth. Okay, I have a question. I thought I saw something on Facebook where they cut some trees down. Did we cut trees down?
Yes, we did.
How are we cutting trees down?
They are dead.
Oh, they were dead. I was like, wait, why did we cut those down? I don't remember seeing that. We are replacing them, obviously, right?
You will, the DDA, yes, will be, yes.
Okay. I was just wondering about that. And then the other thing I wanted to really give some kudos there to Najani because wow, I watched that virtual flower fair and that was great. And I hope no news place comes or some TV come and recruit you because you did a great job. I enjoyed it. Great job. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Anthony?
Everybody's sentiments I agree with 100%. To pile on, I'll use that bad term there for Anjani. Yeah, she's awesome. I mean, she's always like a really great voice of reason too. I really appreciate that, and she's very calm and collected. And she's been in a couple of meetings that I've been in where some things got a little heated sometimes, and she was always a voice of reason. I appreciate that. To Joe, there's still a lot of sidewalks. They replaced a lot of sidewalks with the streetscape or the street project on 24. There's a ton of sidewalks that are busted up. Is this being replaced? Are we leaving these? I can't believe that we're going to replace sidewalks with approaches and then have a square next to it that's totally destroyed. What's the plan with that?
You mean downtown or?
Even on 24. Yeah, on 24 is where I'm talking about mostly.
Oh, okay. I'll check with them people about that.
Okay, yeah, because I just was concerned. I'm saying, hey, we're putting new sidewalks in and we're ending them with 3 spaces that are destroyed. So, that's about it, really. I'm glad to see we're doing a lot of stuff with downtown. I'm hoping that we can move on to a lot of these things quickly and help the businesses because really without them we don't have a downtown.
Thank you. Chris? Township Supervisor?
Hey, guys. Yeah, sorry if I came across as negative tonight. I don't mean to be. I just, I want to encourage us to do the right things, and I'm a huge downtown supporter. I was there this afternoon. I agree. There's a buzz. It's back. It's awesome. It's cool to see some of the retailers pulling their wares out onto the street, on the sidewalks. We have a huge push here in the township as well to support our local businesses. Probably more now than ever. So we're also, we adopted a resolution at our meeting Monday to allow me to give some authority and to do it for no fee, for our restaurants to expand their footprint and have outdoor seating. I do want to say thanks to Joe Young. He's an amazing partner. He's an awesome village manager, and he doesn't get enough credit. He is a great partner. And I am, so it's, yes, sorry, but Joe is the best I've ever worked with. I've worked with a handful, and he's just collaborative and wants to find solutions, and he's always fighting for downtown Lake Orion. So he's a gem. You're not allowed to retire for many years, Joe, because we need you. We're working on the fire easement. I mean, we have agreed in principle with the easement. Just have to confirm the details of the fencing and things. So there will be a sidewalk at some point connecting those parking lots on Slater to downtown, which is good. Joe, Ken, and I have been talking about that, and we just have to keep the fire chief happy, and I'm playing that balancing act to try to not spend a bunch of money and also get it done. So I think we're close there. I participated in the march on Friday and on yesterday, and I'll just say, and I had the privilege of moderating a national webinar today, and I don't think that our community can do enough for minorities in all of our state. I mean, my heart breaks to turn on the news and see what's going on, and I am a firm believer in Black Lives Matter. I think we need to stand up as a community and continue to push that dialogue and do more so that no one is untreated or treated unfairly. But I also support our police. Our village and our township sheriff's deputies are served with distinction. So you'll never hear anything about me from me regarding defunding the police, because we have one of the safest communities in our state. But there needs to be a balance. And I don't mean to get political, but it's something that's really struck a chord with me this last few weeks. So I will say that there's lots of great things happening. I think some of you know I'm on the task force, the reopening economic recovery task force for the county. The county executive appointed me. I'm the one Republican elected representative to the committee. The Royal Oak mayor is the Democrat, and then we are filled out by about 25 business owners of all different from all different businesses across the county. But we meet right now. We're back to meeting once a week, but for a while we were meeting 3 or 4 times a week. But we're working hard to try to come up with ways that we can support businesses as we reopen. The good news is the county did receive $218 million in CARES funding, and so some of that has already come to our businesses through the small business grant plan. Small business stabilization grant program was not perfect, but we worked really hard to try to give as much support as we could to as many businesses as we could. But it sounds like there might be potentially some more monies coming to the cities, villages, and townships, and maybe potentially another wave to the businesses. So I'm pushing big time, pushing for local support. And make sure if you didn't get one of these reopening toolkits that you get one. I got one in my office here. I know Molly did a great job getting these out, but they're free if you're a small business in Oakland County or a nonprofit with 1 to 50 employees. I think most of them are now down at the community center here at the Orient Center, and the chamber's assisting as well. So if you did not get one, or you know a small business or a nonprofit that didn't get one, you should get one, because it's a few $100s worth of free stuff for you: sanitizers, masks, thermometer. So it'll help you reopen your business. So that's about it. Sorry if I came across negative tonight. I do think we need music downtown. I just want to make sure that we do things the right way. And, don't, I don't want to ever have anyone say things to us that we are shortcutting our processes or anything like that. So, that's all I got for tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Chris, I just want to make sure I didn't have the opportunity to go through the budget right now to find where we had that 2%. Did you still want to see that, or are you okay with that?
I was confused because I did look at it before I made the motion, but, it's under the executive director, it makes sense, but under the, administrative coordinator, because it was vacant for a while, it's a lower number. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I'm okay with what Joe said, that yes, it is in the budget. I'm good with that. I just wanted to make sure, before I made the motion. So I don't need any follow-up on that. Thank you, though.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I do what I say that I was going to do if you need it.
I'm good. Thank you.
I'm thrilled to be open. We're our second week opened, and it feels good. And it's great to be able to walk down the sidewalk and see my neighbors getting open or opening or preparing to open. So that's very, very exciting. And also the parking lot behind our building, which is the old pet center that Jeff Schmidt, it's all cleaned up. It looks beautiful back there. So that's pretty exciting. And hey, I just want all of you guys to know that this has been some pretty crazy experiences. None of us have gone through anything like this before. And so thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for calling and checking up on each other and just the words of encouragement that you offered. I can't think of a better community to work or a better community to volunteer in. And so I feel blessed, and I just want you guys to know that I really appreciate you, every single one of you. Manager, township supervisor, executive director, and all of the board members, event planner and admin, assistant, love and appreciate all of you guys. Now on to call to the public. Anybody? No? Okay. Our next regular meeting will be July 14th, 2020 at 6:30, but also remember that we will probably be summoned for another meeting once, hopefully before that time, because we'll have those quotes. I'm just being positive. Adjournment?
Move to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn. Support.
All in favor? Yay!
Aye.
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 Awesome. Susan, I think that's a yay for everybody.
Yes, I got that.
Hey, Debbie,
Yes.
I didn't see you swing any gavel. I missed that.
Oh, doggone it. How's this?
That'll work. Have a good
Okay.
one, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you.
Can it